The ocean looks eternal, a silent mirror reflecting the sky and the confidence of human civilization. But if you look closer, you'll notice the mirror is rising, not in a day, not in a year, but across an entire century. And when sea level rises, it's not simply more water. It rewrites coastlines. It rewrites the fate of cities. It rewrites where humanity is allowed to live. Scientists track the ocean with satellites and tide gauges, and the answer is clear. Sea level is rising and it's accelerating. Over the past century, global mean sea level has risen by roughly about 20 centimeters. It doesn't sound like much, the height of a cup, the thickness of a shoe sole. But those 20 centimeters are enough to make floods more frequent, enough for storm surges to cross seawalls, enough for land once considered safe to begin disappearing. The disturbing part isn't how much sea level has risen, it's the fact that it's accelerating. In the early 20th century, sea level rose at about 1 to 2 millimeters per year. But in the 21st century, the rate has increased to around 3 to 4 millimeters per year. What does that mean? It means the ocean is catching up faster, faster than our cities, faster than our ports, faster than everything we built along the coast. 3 millimeters, thinner than a grain of rice, slower than the growth of your fingernails. But sea level rise is not measured by days, it is measured by accumulation. 3 millimeters per year, 3 centimeters in a decade, 15 centimeters in 50 years, more than 30 centimeters in a century. And the terrifying part is, the speed is not constant, it is increasing. The ocean will not ask if you're ready, it will simply keep rising. Sea level rise has two main causes, two simple physical processes, powerful enough to reshape the world. First, warming seawater expands. This is called thermal expansion. As the ocean absorbs Earth's excess heat, water molecules become more energetic, taking up more space. The ocean itself is breathing, but upward. Second, melting ice, Greenland's ice. Antarctica's ice, mountain glaciers. As that ice melts into the sea, sea level is forced higher. This is not imagination. This is reality right now. Many people think sea level rise is global and equal, but the ocean is not a flat bathtub. Some places rise faster, some rise slower. Some may even appear to drop temporarily because of shifting ocean currents, land rising or sinking, gravity changes caused by melting ice sheets, long-term wind and pressure patterns. So for some cities, the ocean isn't rising 3 millimeters. It may be rising 5, 7, or even more. This is an unfair rise, and the victims are often the civilizations closest to the sea. Half a meter. It sounds small, like the height difference between two children, like the height of a chair. But for coastlines, it is not small, it is the collapse of a boundary. If sea level rises by 50 centimeters, low-lying island nations begin to lose land. Fresh groundwater becomes contaminated by saltwater intrusion. Drainage systems fail during heavy rainfall. Every hurricane and typhoon becomes more destructive. And worst of all, flooding stops being rare. It becomes yearly, monthly, predictable. This is the question humanity asks most often, and the hardest question to answer. Because sea level rise depends on what we do next. Scientific models suggest that by 2100, depending on emission scenarios, global sea level could rise by around 30 centimeters to 1 meter. Some extreme projections warn, if Antarctic ice sheets become unstable and collapse faster, the rise could be even higher. But even under the most conservative predictions, sea level will not stop. It will only rise slower or faster. It is time to choose our pace. The ocean is watching. You might think this is a problem for the next generation, but the truth is, it has already begun. High tides already flood streets. Storms feel like the ocean is pushing back. The ocean simply obeys physics, transforming heat into elevation. How much is sea level rising? It's an irreversible path. We only decide how fast it rises. Nothing rises too slowly, only whether we can keep up. Subscribe to find out which cities will disappear first. We often think sea level rise is just the shoreline moving back, but the ocean doesn't only swallow beaches. It swallows farmland, freshwater aquifers, roads, the foundations of cities. In many regions, seawater is quietly infiltrating deep underground, contaminating wells, turning drinkable water into salt. You don't see waves, you don't hear storms, but salt is moving in. This is a slow invasion, a silent occupation. While humans debate numbers, the ocean is already reshaping water supplies, reshaping agriculture, reshaping whether a place can remain habitable. The most terrifying thing about sea level rise is not the daily increase. It's that it turns extreme events into normal life. When a typhoon strikes, winds push ocean water inland, creating storm surges. If sea level is already 20 centimeters higher, the surge begins 20 centimeters higher too. That difference decides whether floodwater enters homes, whether subways collapse, whether an entire city shuts down. In an age of rising seas, every storm is jumping from a higher step. Even more brutal, some cities are not only facing rising seas, their land is sinking because of groundwater extraction, because of heavy construction, because of soil compaction, because humans are hollowing out their own ground. So sea level rise becomes twice as fast. If the ocean rises 4 millimeters and the land sinks 6 millimeters, the city effectively loses 1 centimeter per year. 1 centimeter per year. 10 centimeters in a decade. Half a meter in 50 years. This is not science fiction. It is happening now in real coastal cities. The true ruler of sea level rise is not the ocean. It is ice, because the ocean is already enormous. It only needs a small additional amount of water to redraw the world's coastlines. If Greenland's ice sheet fully melts, sea level could rise by over 7 meters. If Antarctica fully melts, sea level could rise by more than 50 meters. What does that mean? New York becomes a bay. Shanghai disappears beneath tides. London becomes not a city, but a memory of a river. Our civilization is built upon a fragile condition that the ice has not yet fully melted. Our civilization is built upon a fragile condition that the ice has not yet fully melted. The balance is shifting. People imagine global warming as hotter air, but most of the heat isn't in the sky. It's in the ocean. The ocean absorbs the vast majority of Earth's excess heat. That means seawater expands, and it means the ocean is storing energy. More energy means stronger storms. Warmer water fuels larger typhoons. More extreme rainfall becomes harder to predict. Sea level rise is only one symptom. The deeper problem is this: the ocean is becoming a more violent system. Throughout history, nearly every great city was built near the sea because the ocean brought trade, food, shipping routes, economy. But now the same ocean is forcing retreat. When sea level rises, you don't just lose land, you lose home. And when a city can no longer drain water, cannot secure drinking supplies, cannot protect infrastructure, it will slowly be abandoned. Human migration will become Earth's dominant story again, but this time not to find better land, but to escape a rising sea. Humans fear sudden disasters, but what truly reshapes the world is the tipping point. When glaciers melt beyond a threshold, they cannot return. When seawater enters aquifers, freshwater systems may collapse permanently. When erosion passes a certain line, seawalls become meaningless. The greatest danger is not gradual rise. It is the day you realize it can never go back. And in that moment, humanity will understand. We believed the world was stable, but stability was always an illusion. If sea level rise is a countdown, then modern civilization is like an audience in a sinking theater. People still talk about entertainment, still talk about money, still talk about the future. But the ocean quietly rises, like water creeping beneath the seats, and no one wants to acknowledge it. Until one day, the front row stands up and feels wet shoes. The second row panics. The third row says, it's not that bad. But the ocean never argues. It only rises. Silence. Civilization made one comfortable assumption, that coastlines are permanent. So we build airports by the sea, ports, skyscrapers, power plants, highways. But Earth never promised the coastline would stay still. It simply gave us a few thousand years of relative stability, and we mistook that for forever. Sea level rise is reminding humanity our safety was only borrowed time. A map is humanity's declaration of the world, but the ocean never recognizes declarations. It will erase islands, blur borders, force cities to retreat. And this time, the world map will not change because of war. Not because of revolution, not because of politics, but because of water. One of Earth's oldest elements is becoming one of its most powerful forces. How much is sea level rising? It's not just the water level rising. It is Earth's warning, the cost of the future, the boundary we once believed would never move. On this planet, the ocean is always more patient than humanity. And sometimes patience is more terrifying than violence. We won't drown in waves. We will drown in millimeters, in slow change, in numbers we thought didn't matter. And when the ocean reaches our doorstep, humanity will finally remember. It started rising long ago,